The complainant swung back, but the defendant struck the complainant several times in the face, causing pain. I'm going to find that and teach that a lesson. And sending threatening text messages to the complainant stating someone was going to die tonight. And the officer was able to see redness on the upper left side of the complainant's face near her eye.
Welcome to Bench Report Court Cam.
Page 3, Castillo. No. You'll get them.
You are Noah Castillo.
Good morning.
Mr. Castillo, you're charged with assault, bodily injury. You're also charged with failure to stop and give information. On the assault, you're facing a year. On the failure to stop and give information, you're facing up to 6 months in jail. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you.
Just to confirm, is this Castillo?
Yep.
Okay. On December 25th, 2024, officer was dispatched to an apartment in response to a disturbance. The officer spoke to apartment security officers who stated that the defendant was sitting in the back of their security vehicle and that the complainant was inside the apartment. The complainant stated that his wife had a Christmas party and the defendant attended, but that he had never met the defendant before. The complainant had gone outside to smoke, and when he returned, he saw the defendant arguing with his wife, and the complainant intervened, and the defendant swung at him with a closed fist. The complainant swung back, but the defendant struck the complainant several times in the face, causing pain. The officers observed that the complainant had a bloody lip and hand, and the defendant stated that the complainant swung at him first, but did not hit him. Multiple witnesses confirmed the complainant's account. And for the failure to stop and give information, the officer was dispatched to a crash in an intersection in Harris County, Texas, and the complainant advised that he was stopped at a red light. When the light turned green, he entered the intersection. At this point, the defendant ran the red light and struck the complainant's car. Both parties exited their vehicles, and the defendant's vehicle was inoperable due to the damage, and the defendant ran away on foot towards a Home Depot. The complainant clearly saw the defendant's face, and the defendant's phone was inside his vehicle, and his GPS was open to his residence, which was less than half a mile away. The officers found multiple beer cans and a liquor bottle inside the defendant's vehicle, and the complainant estimated he sustained damage of over $200.
Was he on bond for the FSGI and pick up the assault?
Judge, I do have it here that he had conditions from the magistrate from the 18th on the FSGI.
So yes.
It was a surety bond. Due to that offense, judge, there's also a BBR on the FSGI.
Run his license for me, please.
It's not eligible, Your Honor.
Mr. Castillo, let me make you something abundantly clear to you, that I will not stand for this in my county. And look at me. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my county at all costs. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If I find that you act like a fool in the free world, I will take the free world away from you in a heartbeat. I'm ordering you now, and I'm going to have you sign an affidavit with me that you're not allowed to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. If I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. I can have a contempt hearing, and I can hold you in contempt and slap you with 180 days every single time you get into a car and drive. Do you understand? If you drove here, you are not allowed to drive home. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
On one ankle, I'm going to put a scram monitor so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. You consume alcohol, you smoke any dope, I'm going to put you in jail. Right now, I'm going to send you for a drug and alcohol test because I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. Like I said, you're also on probation for a felony DWI. It's very possible they file another motion to revoke your probation. I'm going to have you come up here, swear test that you're not going to drive. I'm going to have you sign a recent Victorian. You're going to get with Fleischer for your bond conditions, then I'm going to have you come back after your drug test. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to use, consume marijuana, anything, and I'm going to test you regularly so I know that you're not using. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Come on. Coming up, Mr. Castillo. Please. I'm getting a phone number for you, Carl.
Thank you, Judge.
And you're with, she's here with you, okay. This is grandmother's phone number, and she's here with you.
The number I just gave you, that's grandmother's phone number. Do you not have a cell phone?
I do, but I just don't know the number. Can I go on my phone and get the phone number?
So what we're going to do is I'm going to have him call you, your grandmother. You guys need to get on the same page. He needs your cell phone so that he can get in contact with you. I don't play games here, Mr. Castillo. All I care about is my community. I want safety. And if you're going to endanger it, you got only one place to go. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Carl. You're not to use alcohol. You're not to use dope. And I'm going to test you in 45 days. You test positive for marijuana, you know exactly what's going to happen. If you don't smoke as of today, if you don't use any alcohol as of today, everything will be hunky-dory. Otherwise, there's just one result that's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you now, if I deem you a public danger, I'm going to make your bond super high. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge,
Tell me.
Judge, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm looking in the system. It shows that he's on probation.
Correct.
The 230th District Court for a DWI third offense. And he's on the docket there for January the 9th. And I haven't talked to the 230th District Court. I'm not sure if they're in yet or not, but it shows that he's scheduled to go into the SATF program. Because they had it, he was scheduled for.
Oh, not all these cases are open, Carl. That's not going to happen. So we need to figure out something, you know?
Well, I understand that, Judge. I'm letting you know that
Yeah.
that felony court has him on the docket for January the 9th.
Okay.
Yes, and there's a note where the felony prosecutor told that he was set to take a plea sometime this week. So we're to hold our offers until they resolve the felony. So they expect him to take a plea soon.
Got it. Okay. So let's do this. Why don't we set you for the day after?
January 10th?
Yeah. What day is that?
How about the Monday?
Do you want to do that Monday after? The 13th?
That'll be fine.
Okay.
And then we'll know where he's at by then because he's going to court.
We're going to set your case off that Monday after your felony court date. You're to come here from now and then, stay in touch with Carl to see where we're going to go. Don't use. If I don't know what's going to happen in felony court, but for the time being with us, don't use alcohol, don't use weed, don't drive. You've signed it. He signed an affidavit not to drive, right?
Castillo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do not drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care where you have to go. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did he have? My feeling is that while he's on probation, he's probably supposed to have a interlock as well. So I wonder if he had one in the car. We're going to have you sign a reset. Go talk to your lawyer, and then we'll see you on the 10th.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you Fleischer for bond conditions yet.
Yes, he's on.
Yeah? Okay. Carl, did you have anything?
No, it shows he's on the docket for January the 9th, and we're resetting this till January 13th.
13th, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thanks, Carl.
Judge,
Problem.
I think I caught the tail end of you saying you were gonna give him so much time to test. I
Yep.
can put it in the notes.
So 45. And that's if he's still out. Good morning, Mr. Martinez. Sir, you were charged with terroristic threat. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officers were dispatched to a disturbance at a residence in Harris County, Texas. The officers made contact with the defendant and a witness, the defendant's boyfriend. The officers observed the defendant to be highly intoxicated, and the officer tried to ask the witness what happened, and the defendant continuously interrupted and would not allow the witness to speak to the officer. The officer then temporarily detained the defendant, and the witness stated that he and the defendant were eating dinner with the witness's friend, the complainant. The defendant began to get hostile towards the witness and the complainant during dinner, and the complainant decided to leave and go home. The complainant lives 2 streets over from the witness. After the complainant left, the defendant took the witness's keys to his vehicle and stated, "I'm going to find that bitch and teach that old bitch a lesson." The witness then called the complainant to tell her what the defendant said, and the complainant was afraid and then told her neighbor about the threat in case something happened. The defendant then called the witness 5 times in 3 minutes and texted her, "Outside your house, bitch." The complainant was in fear for her life due to the defendant's statements.
So the initial threat is just like an open threat, not made to.
It was correct. It was said to the witness, but then later he texted the complainant directly stating that he was outside her house.
Give me a second. Hello? Okay. Which one is it? Yeah. Just text. Yeah, text me the number. Wait, and then I'll do it. All right, thanks. All right, for now, Mr. Martinez, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. You know, in life, there are people, when they consume alcohol, they turn into like very jovial, fun, you know, and then there are people who develop horns and a tail when they start drinking. Don't drink. Do you understand? I'm making it a condition of your bond that you're not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. And if I find that you do, I'm going to put you in jail. Do you understand? No more PR bonds for you. I'm also ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case and not to be in possession of any weapons. Do you understand your bond conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are you, sir? Do you have an income? What do you do for a living?
I manage the inventory for PetSmart.
Okay. Do you have the ability to hire a lawyer, sir?
It depends. I mean,
What kind of money do you make a month?
it fluctuates. It's not really like, I don't, my checks go up and down depending on how many hours we work.
I need to know exactly how much you make if you want to apply for a court-appointed lawyer. So I can send you home with an application if you'd like. You can fill one out here, but I need to know exactly how much money you want to make. Otherwise, you'll be required to go hire a lawyer. So look, what do you want to try to apply for a lawyer, or do you want to go out and hire a lawyer?
I could apply for one. I don't know.
Okay, I need you to be honest on the application. This is an affidavit that you're filling out. So be honest. I need to know everything about you. How much money you have in the bank, what kind of car you drive, stocks.
I have a car. I don't drive.
Just what I'm telling you is I need to know everything about you. How much money you have in the bank, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, IRAs, information of this nature, and then I'll see whether you qualify, okay? Stephen will give you an application. They'll have you sign a reset. You're going to meet with Fleischer for your bond conditions, and then we'll take a look at the application. Please. You are Jesse Joe Proctor. Mr. Proctor, you're charged with terroristic threat. It's a Class A misdemeanor. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
Yes, Judge. On November 7th, 2024, officers were dispatched to a burglary of a residence in progress. Upon arrival, the defendant was found standing in front of the complainant, the defendant's ex-girlfriend, and the defendant had been sending threatening text messages to the complainant stating someone was going to die tonight and that it would be the complainant and her mother. The defendant further stated he would be taking his gun to the complainant's house, and the officer observed the text messages and confirmed the defendant sent them. The defendant also advised the officers that he sent the messages to get the complainant's attention. The complainant stated the defendant had attempted to gain entry into her home, and the complainant stated she feared for her life and would like to pursue charges.
I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Now, as a condition of your bond, not to have any contact with this person. Do you understand? I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my public. If I find that you're a danger to my public, I'm just going to put you in jail and I'm going to make your bond high. Do you understand? I don't care who you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care if you're a small farm animal. You endanger my community. It's over. You're not to be in possession of weapons and not to go within 500 feet of where she lives or where she works. Can you do me a favor?
Yes, Judge.
Right now, while we have him here, reach out to see if there's still been any more issues. Because if there is, I'm tempted to put a monitor on him so we know that he's not going anywhere near her. Please.
Yes, Judge, because we reached out on the 15th of November, and at that time, the complainant stated she was fine with contact and that she did not believe the defendant would harm her. So she's fine with contact as of November 15th. We can reach out again if you would like us to.
Please.
Yes, Judge.
So for now, do me a favor, if you just mind, just take a seat in the jury box. We're back with you here shortly. Or actually, let me have you sign a receipt and then we'll get you back in the jury box. Please.
You should have the printout up there.
Yeah.
Morning, Your Honor. Let's talk about our house.
Have you signed on yet?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Great to see you. How are you? Always a pleasure. All right.
Pleasure's always mine.
Mr. Barajas, you are charged with 2 counts of assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine on each. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. If you have the right to have an attorney present, if you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
It's my understanding the state's going to dismiss one of it's the same industry file. That's my understanding.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Ready for a receipt? Yes, Judge.
Sure.
On December 29th, 2024, the officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, and was met at the front door by the complainant. The complainant stated that I apologize, Your Honor. The complainant provided a statement and brought the officer into her kitchen, and the officer was able to see redness on the upper left side of the complainant's face near her eye. The officer also observed on the complainant a small laceration and fresh blood. The complainant had tears in her eyes and stated that the defendant and she had been in a dating relationship for on and off for 6 years, and that in the morning, the defendant and she got into a verbal argument about various issues, and the defendant became irate due to her confronting him about the issues, and he started belittling her and calling her derogatory names. The complainant then stated that when they were arguing, she responded by insulting the defendant back, and then things began to intensify. Eventually, the defendant charged at the complainant, and the complainant stated that the defendant slapped her with an open palm across her face, throwing her backwards onto the bed. And as the complainant attempted to cover up her face by turning on her stomach, the defendant punched her in the back 3 times with a closed fist, and the complainant did feel pain from being slapped and punched in the back.
Okay. Mr. Vara, because I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I'm entering now what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This identifies Ms. Alvarado as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Are they prescriptive?
Yes, sir.
Back on. Okay. I want you to understand that I'm issuing a protective order that identifies her as a protected individual. You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person. Commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You know, threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harass behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go within 200 feet of where she lives or where she works. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you violate this, the state can and will file a violation protective order against you, and it's one of the worst cases you can pick up. Just don't have any contact. Don't have any weapons, and you'll be fine with us. Got a great lawyer. Listen to him. He'll take care of you. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but you have to stay in contact with him. If he comes back, tells me he can't get a hold of you because you've taken off, a warrant will be issued. You pick up a new case, a warrant will be issued. It's not hard. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We're going to have them file all the documents. We'll have you sign it, and after that, you'll be free to go. Okay?
State's asking for 1,500.
Do you want a PR bond?
Court's going, I just didn't want to fight too much this morning, but.
Of course.
Yes, Sergeant.
Please.
It's already-
I just see the stuff from 92. That's all I see, right? Is that it? Okay. I'll grant you a PR bond, but understand, this is the only one I'm going to give you. You become a danger to my city, you become a danger to my community, I'm going to yank that PR bond and I'm going to make it high. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's not hard, all right? Okay. There's a ton of paperwork we're going to have to do, so just pick a date with Victoria and then you're good. Don't leave until you sign all the paperwork, Mr. Rojas, okay?
Continue.
Okay.
What does he set the bond on?
Thanks for watching. Stick around longer and click the highlighted videos to your right. See you there.